As we've been drinking MMA, this is Backhand. We're doing our rapid fire predictions for UFC Fight Night. Bobby Green versus Grant Dawson takes place October 7th, this Saturday. Don't miss it. This is rapid fire predictions. So this is Backhand again. So the first fight I'm just gonna rapid fire these fights. So first fight is Nate Maness versus Matias. Actually, it's Montana De La Rosa versus JJ Aldrich, which was announced. I'm going with Montana De La Rosa because of the wrestling. Takedowns, the ground and pound, and JJ Aldrich is a little bit too slow to stop those takedowns. You got Nate Maness versus Matias Mendonca. I'm going with Matias Mendonca. He has got really good balance from the shoot boxing gym with all these killers, and he's another guy who's 10-1, and he's fighting Nate Maness. Maness walks into punches. It's going to be a bad night for Maness. I'm going with Mendonca again on that. We got Kanako Murata versus Vanessa Demopoulos. I'm going with Murata. She's a former champion in the Invicta organization, which was the UFC for women. Enough said. You got Johnny Munoz versus Aori Keelang. I'm going with Aori Keelang, but I really see this fight going the distance. But the pick is Aori Keelang. He's just got the more crisp strikes, fast leg kicker, and he can get up off the ground. And Munoz is a wrestler, and so hopefully I'm thinking Aori Keelang can stop those takedowns. Now this is the prelim main event. It's Diana Belbita versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. My pick is Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I love Karolina Kowalkiewicz in this fight. She's fought and lost only to the best ranked fighters and former champions, and Diana Belbita has lost to people who are not even in the UFC anymore. You've got Bill Algeo versus Alexander Hernandez. My pick is Alexander Hernandez. I think he's just... Actually, no. This fight is one of those fights where I guess tentatively Alexander Hernandez if I have to, but in reality, I feel like this fight is going to be a live bet for me just because Alexander Hernandez is a 155er moving down to 145, and he's 0-2 at 145. So maybe my pick is Bill Algeo. But anyways, up the card is Philip Lins versus Ion Kudalaba. My pick is going to be Philip Lins. He's just better at going forward and back, punching forward and punching backwards versus Kudalaba is just good at punching forward, and Kudalaba is just a little bit slower overall. You got Drew Dober versus Ricky Glenn. My pick is Drew Dober. He's just a phenomenal ranked fighter who is in and out with super fast leg kicks, fast combos with power, and Ricky Glenn is just a guy who's good against wrestlers and not a good striker. You got, and not a great wrestler himself. He's just good against stopping the takedowns. Alex Morano versus Joaquin Buckley. My pick is Alex Morano. He's a guy who's been in the perennial top 15. He's knocked out Cerrone. He's beaten a lot of people, has a really good record, 12-5 in the UFC, and he's fighting Joaquin Buckley. I just think Alex Morano will be a little bit faster with in and out movement, and he's very tricky like a vet, and as he is, and he's just going to be making it very tough for Buckley to time him. I think Morano's just going to throw punches and bunches and get it done. You got Joe Pyfer versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I'm going with Joe Pyfer. He's a massive favorite for a reason. They both throw with power, but Pyfer is just faster and has much better shot selection, and Abdul Razak Al Hassan does not have head movement, so he's going to get knocked out. And then the last fight, the main event, Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. I don't think Grant Dawson should be this big of a favorite, minus 400 to make 100, so I'm going with Bobby Green, trying to make some underdog money. I just think that he can stop some takedowns. He can light Grant Dawson up a little bit. Grant Dawson stands too close. He's not good at striking defense. He is putting pressure, but Bobby Green is a lot better against wrestlers than people think, and Grant Dawson is not as good at striking as what people think, in my opinion. Should be a closer fight. I think it's a good dog bet, so that's why I'm picking Bobby Green. Lousy, how about you, buddy? What are your rapid-fire predictions for this fight night?
Here are mine. I'm Lousy, and these are my rapid-fire picks. Montana De La Rosa versus JJ Aldrich. I'm going Montana De La Rosa because of her wrestling and her experience. Nate Maness versus Mateos Mendonca. I'm going Mendonca because of his pace and his striking. Kanako Murata versus Vanessa Demopoulos. I'm going Murata because of her strength and her in-out striking as well. Munoz versus Aero Quaylang. I'm going Munoz because of his pace and his submissions. Carolina Kowalkiewicz versus Diana Belbita. I am going Carolina because of her straightforward pace and her experience. Alexander Hernandez versus Bill Algeo. I am going inside the distance. No one blocks a punch in that fight. Philippe Lins versus Ian Cutelaba. I'm going Philippe Lins because of he's lighter and faster with his striking. Drew Dober versus Ricky Glenn. I am going Drew Dober because of his just better everything. Oh, that's pretty much it. Alex Morano versus Joaquin Buckley. I'm going Joaquin Buckley because of his power striking. Joe Pyfer versus Abdul Razak Al Hazan. I'm going Joe Pyfer because he's younger and he's faster with his punches, and they're both strikers.
Knockout.
Yeah, by knockout. Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. I am going Grant Dawson because he's just a better wrestler. Unfortunately, this is going to be a boring fight, but Grant Dawson for the win. And those are our rapid fire predictions. Please like, subscribe, comment.
Enjoy that fight, October 7th. Here we go. Main event's not so great, we'll be honest, but the rest of the card's got some good matchups.